Council, Assam University, Silchar. So, at the very outset, there is the inaugural program of this 5-day national level online workshop, and in this inaugural session, we have with us Dr. Purkaisto, you just start your inaugural session.
Namaskar. Ya kundendu tusharaharadhavala ya shubhravastra ya veena varadandamanditagara ya shveta padmasana ya brahmachuta shankara prabhritibhihi devai sada vandita samang patu saraswati bhagavati nisheshajadrapaha shuklang brahma bicharasara paraman adyang jagadvyapinim veena pustakadharinim abhayadam jadyandhakarapaham haste svatikamalikam vidadhatim padmasane sansthitam vande tang parameshwaring bhagavating buddhi pradang sharadam. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dipanjana Purkasto, for your beautiful inaugural song. Now I request the principal of SS College Hailakandi, the captain of SS College Teaching Non-Teaching Fraternity, Sri Amalanti Bhattacharya, for his welcome speech. Sir, please, we are eagerly waiting for your welcome speech.
So good evening to everybody. I am very thankful to Professor Gauri Dutt Sharma for coming over here on online discussion. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Meghalaya University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya. I welcome Professor Niranjan Rai, Department of Economics, Assam University, Silchar. I welcome Sri Jayanta Bhattacharya, Director, CDC, Assam University, Silchar. I also welcome all the principals of different colleges, IQAC coordinators, faculty members, research scholars, non-teaching members of different institutions, participants of Assam and the participants of outside Assam state, and all the dignitaries who are listening this online program. I think this program schedule for 5 days would definitely cater to the need of all the colleges who are going to have their NAAC reaccreditation particularly this 5-day discussion would help those colleges which have not yet done any NAAC accreditation. So this type of discussions would cater to the needs of different new colleges as well as the colleges which have already done 1 or 2 NAAC accreditation or re-accreditation. I think today NAAC visit has become a very mandatory part of all the colleges, because every college, particularly in Assam, is to do this NAAC. Otherwise, there would be a lot of problems, and new changes have been made, and these new changes are very critical changes. So I think today and in the following days, when the different scholars and the resource persons who deliver their lectures on the different aspects of NAAC re-accreditation, these discussions and suggestions, valuable suggestions, would help the colleges of India as well as Assam to reshape their thinking and to do the needful for re-accreditation. So I think SS College has taken a very right step in organizing this online seminar for 5 days, which will help the colleges of Barak Valley, Brahmaputra Valley, and also the other parts of India. And I am very thankful to the Department of English as well as to the IQAC cell of SS College, and also thankful to the College Development Council, CDC Assam University Silchar, for collaborating with us and helping the Department of English and IQAC SS College to organize this seminar or online discussions. So I think all the participants who have joined this program would definitely learn new things, so that they would they can go for their re-accreditation in the NAAC or the coming days for by the NAAC. So I think all of you, all the participants who joined this program would definitely listen to the discussion very seriously and to make this program very successful. Once again, I welcome all the members, all the honorable guests and participants from different parts from the core of my mind. And I think we would have a very fruitful discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your inspirational speech. Now, I have the pleasure to welcome Sri Jayanto Bhattacharjee, Director CDC Assam University Silchar, for introducing the theme of this workshop. And sir is actually the patron of this 5-day workshop, and under Jayanto sir's able leadership, actually our colleges are going on right track. Actually, this is his initiative that we are going for this sort of workshop for the development of the infrastructure of college and to prepare our institutions for NAAC visit. So once again, I invite Jayanto Bhattacharjee sir to deliver his speech on introducing the theme of the workshop. Sir, please.
Thank you very much. Good evening and a warm welcome to all the members. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Gauridat Sharma sir, Professor Niranjan Rai, Principal SS College, and the organizers. I am really grateful that all of you have joined this online workshop, because in this pandemic time, the online workshops have shown a great way for us to conduct the required training that we must get for different developmental activities of the educational sectors. First of all, before starting, I will like to convey the message that Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir of Assam University, he actually suddenly had to attend a meeting with Honorable President of India at Guwahati. So he went for that meeting, and till now he had not come back. So whenever he will come back, I hope that before conclusion of this inaugural session, he will be joining us soon. So due to that, we get a bit delayed in starting the program, and for which I personally apologize to all the participants. Now, regarding the NAAC accreditation, with the introduction of NEP 2020 new education policy of Government of India, the NAAC accreditation becomes a mandatory part of all the higher educational institutes of India. So the colleges, which are the integral part of the higher education system in India, must get accessed and accredited by the NAAC. And for these reasons, there were many confusions among the stakeholders. What I feel that most of the colleges which are located remotely, they are facing a lot of challenges in actually preparing for the NAAC visits. Some colleges is the first time they will go for this assessment and accreditation process, and at the same time, some colleges will be going for the second cycle or the third cycle of the accreditation process. But with the revised new framework, the concept of this NAAC accreditation has changed a bit lot. A lot of changes are there, and the resource person who will be conducting the workshop in the coming days will be able to guide the participants what to do, how to do, and what are the basic requirements that should be followed prior to going for any NAAC accreditation. The guidelines of the NAAC accreditation are very much available on the NAAC website, but understanding this becomes a very difficult for the general people and our faculty members. So we have associated the people who have wide knowledge and experience, hands-on experience in evaluating the colleges. And I believe that the deliberation by these resource persons will be a very great help to all of you. All of you have joined from the different corners of the country, and I think that the program organized by Sri Kishan Sarada College, Hailakandi, will be very much beneficial to all of you. Now, regarding this theme of this concept, that means what will be covered in this during this 5 days workshop. The first thing is that overview of NAAC revised assessment and accreditation process. So the total overview of the new regulations under which NAAC is going to assess the institutes, specifically the colleges, and how they will be evaluating your performance, that will be discussed. Then the benchmark for quality and enhancement and sustenance or in higher education, parameters of quality enhancement in NAAC revised methodology. That means the revised methodology that was prescribed in 2017, how to just these benchmarks will be in quality enhancement and sustenance in higher education will be discussed in this workshops. Then challenges faced by affiliated colleges in implementation of best practices for NAAC accreditation. This is another part which is very much vital part of any college, for any college when going for the NAAC accreditation. Then AQAR writing and submission in the light of revised NAAC guidelines, data management in the entire this revised accreditation framework process, IIQA, SSR, how to write it, AQAR, DVV, SSS, and on-site visit, as well as consistency in data management in the entire quality framework, starting from AISHE, NIRF, NAAC, and the MIS portal of the government. Then the role of IQAC to improve quality culture and strategies for good grade and score. So these are the themes that will be covered in the next 5 days, and the experienced people who were associated with the different NAAC evaluation team will be guiding you during this process, and this will be a very interactive sessions, and all the participants will be given enough opportunity to place their queries and this their doubts that will be cleared during this 5 days workshop. So the basic thing is that NAAC accreditation, the participant should understand that what is actually the NAAC revised accreditation framework and how to prepare for it, that your institutions is going for the NAAC accreditation. Prior to going this accreditation process, there are certain things that needs to be undertaken by the institutes. Second is that during the process of evaluation, how the things is to be managed, and when the visiting team will be coming, or the peer team will be coming to physically visit the information provided to NAAC, that's how to deal with them and how to manage all the things in your institute. And then afterwards, that means the completion of the process, how this will be evaluated, all these things will be discussed in the coming 5 days workshop. And I hope that everyone will get immense benefit from this, attending this workshop, and there will be more support from all the stakeholders in this meeting, so that this program can become a great success. I thank the organizer for taking the pain of organizing such a workshop in this time, and I hope that this program will be a great success, and it will allow the participant to learn the actual process of NAAC accreditation in the 5 days workshop. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to say a few words regarding this revised framework, the themes of the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again for your accent of actually collaborating this 5-day online workshop with us. Now, in this inaugural session, we are very fortunate that we have with us Professor Niranjan Rai. Actually, he will deliver speech in the first technical session. Now, before actually inviting him in this inaugural session, it will be customary to say something about Dr. Niranjan Rai. Dr. Niranjan Rai is a professor and former head economics at Assam University. He is also a former dean of the School of Economics and Commerce of Assam University. He was director, Internal Quality Assurance Cell during July 2009 to February 2013. He was also register in charge of Assam University during October 2011 to April 2015. Dr. Rai is associated with NAAC for the last 1 decade and already visited 40 institutions in NAAC PR team. He has been associated with the formulation of RAF and working in a committee for formulation of IQAC formula and its modalities. He is the recipient of European Union's Erasmus Mundus Fellowship for visiting Göttingen University, Germany during the year 2015 to 16 for postdoctoral studies. Professor Rai has published 11 books and 86 research papers. Now, without wasting time, I now request and invite Professor Niranjan Rai to address his speech. on or as a guest of honor in this inaugural session. Sir, we are greatly waiting to hear your speech.
Respected Principal of SS College, Hailakandi, our esteemed chief guest of this program, Professor Gauridatta Sharma, Vice Chancellor of USTM, who is the doyen in the field of academics and quality assessment of higher education institutions. Sri Jayanta Bhattacharya, CDC, College Development Council Director of Assam University, our Vice Chancellor, Professor R.M. Panji, in absentia, who is chairing this particular session, and my colleagues from SS College and all the participants from different institutions across Northeast and beyond. My namaskar to all. Since I will be speaking after this inaugural session in a technical session, so I will be very, very brief in this session, inaugural session. Now you see the whole movement of quality. It is a very new concept. It started after World War II. And in India, if you look at the higher education institution, the quality assessment and assurance that started from 1994 by this NAAC. NAAC was established in 1994. And all the higher education institutions, general in nature, that were covered by NAAC for the last more than 2 decades. Now NAAC has evolved its methodology continuously and updated its methodology, because you see, quantifying quality is a very challenging issue, challenging task. We have to quantify quality, and accordingly we have to give a scale, a mark, a grade, and also some outcome in terms of the gradation. So this is really a very challenging task, and NAAC has trying to evolve different methodologies, and we will be discussing about revised accreditation framework, which started from July 2017, and the whole process of NAAC assessment is actually depend on 5 important core values. 5 important core values. One is the contribution to the national development. The higher education institution should be a part of this nation building process. So accordingly, the NAAC has devised its key aspect and key indicators accordingly to capture the higher education institutions' involvement in contribution to national development, then global competencies of among the students, how the higher education institutions are actually inculcating a capacity building process so that the students can face the global competition. Number 3, the third important core value is inculcating value system among students. Not only that, the skill development, along with the skill development, there should be value orientation among the students. This is another very important core values of the NAAC. Then promoting the use of technology. Nowadays, you see the beauty of technology. We never thought to organize a workshop with 140 participants. It was never possible. The workshops are mainly conducted within a small group, 20, 30, 40, maximum 50. So the workshop that we organized, the workshop that I attended, maximum 50, 60 people that could accommodate. But you see the beauty of technology now as a result of this pandemic. The pandemic has given us this opportunity, and 148 participants have joined in this webinar. And then the quest for excellence. So that is another very important core values which NAAC is trying to capture during all these years as part of the evolution of the methodology of NAAC. And since I will be taking the first session immediately after this inaugural session, so I wind up my hair with I am sure that this particular workshop, 5 days workshop, will be helpful to the participants from the colleges, because the teachers are the main pillars in the institutions. And whatever you talk about the national education policies, you talk about the NAAC assessment, the teachers should take the lead. And 70% of NEP, it depends on implementation, depends on the teachers only. The entire process of the NAAC depends on the teachers' involvement only. So teachers should be a very important part of this entire exercise. And I'm sure that this webinar on NAAC assessment will go a long way in capacity building of our participants across the different institutions. With this, I wish all the best for this workshop. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir. It is always nice to hear you. Now, it is our turn to request and invite Professor G.T. Sharma, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya, to deliver his inaugural address. Before inviting sir, it would be customary to say something about sir, but this 5 minutes or 10 minutes will not be sufficient to say something about G.D. Sharma. It needs 1 day, it needs 1 month to say about his activities. So I am in brief saying something about sir's activities. Now, Professor G.D. Sharma is a leading educationist, eminent scholar, reputed life scientist, and well-known academic administrator of India. As a Vice Chancellor, Professor Sharma has served in the Northeastern Hill University, Meghalaya, in Assam University as Head, Dean, Life Sciences, and Pro-Vice Chancellor, and in Nagaland Central University as Vice Chancellor for the last nearly 45 years. Professor Sharma is currently working as Vice Chancellor, University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya, after serving Bilaspur State University in Chhattisgarh since June 2012. He has also contributed a lot in understanding of culture, values, and philosophy of the great Indian nation through education, and created love and belongingness among the tribal people of Northeastern India. Professor Sharma was deputed by the Ministry of External Affairs to Myanmar in Rangoon University in the year 2005 to uplift the higher education standard. Professor Sharma has guided 60 research scholars for their PhD degrees, MPhil, and 5 postdoctoral fellows. He has published over 362 research papers in national and international journals of repute. He has authored 13 books published by India and foreign publishers. He has Fellowship of Academic Society from Royal Society London, UK, and INSA, India under exchange program. Fellow of Indian Mycological Society 2009, FIMS, Fellow of Indian Botanical Society, FBS, Fellow of International Natural Resource and Environmental Society. So, without wasting time, may I have the pleasure to invite Professor Gautam Datta Sharma to deliver his speech. Sir, please.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Welcome,
Chakravarti. And in this very important 5 days workshop organized by IQAC SS College Hailakandi, in the initiative of Dr. G.C. Nandi and his team, we have the Honorable our Vice Chancellor of Assam University, Professor R.M. Pant, who is one of the renowned academicians and who has made significant contributions in Northeast India. And also we have respected principal of SS College, our friend, and also one of the leading educationists, Professor Niranjan Roy, who has been with a number of academic achievements, and very dynamic, our Dr. Jayant Bhattacharya, Director, CDC, and so many, I can see the participants, the principals from neighboring colleges, also the faculty members, research scholars. So first of all, I convey congratulations to the organizers to have such a very meticulously dealing with various aspects of NAAC assessment and accreditation, particularly on the revised assessment framework by NAAC, which is implemented after July 2017. And as Professor Niranjan Roy was telling, that continuously, because quality is not stagnant, it is a continuous change in our education, and it is also required that we should also change continuously. Therefore, the assessment and accreditation from NAAC also is bringing from time to time changed parameters, changed methodology, because we remember that the establishment of NAAC and Assam University the same year, because after the 1984 new education policy, the access and equity these were the two buzzwords. So a lot of private institutes started coming up. But how to make access to those who are in job? Therefore, this Indira Gandhi National Open University also came. And in this way, Open University started coming. So in 1992, review of this policy was done, and to monitor the quality of higher educational institutions and higher education. Because the education is, as has been told by our previous speakers, is an important not only for social transformation, but also for economic development of the nation, and also getting the civilization perfection. So in this way, the present now revised aspects of the assessment and accreditation by NAAC, which are there, they have the basic criteria, 7 criteria. Some change in these criteria also in compared to the previous one. And once these criteria are given to understand, because as Professor Roy told, that we have some core criteria, some criteria related to the contribution of any higher educational institutions to the society, to the quality not only having in teaching learning, but also in making this quality relevance to the region, to the nation, and also to meet the global needs. So keeping in this view, that means we have to emerge as the institutes where quality is not only used to deliver our teaching learning, but this quality should be sustained, sustainable, as well as it should be continuously enhanced. Once the assessment is done, then there are a lot of opportunities for the higher educational institutions to get fund, both from national agencies, especially from UGC, and also from international organizations where the research funding and others are also available. But what we have observed that in spite of this is so important aspects, but the institutions do not come forward for the quality assessment and accreditation. And if we see that total status of the assessment now in our country, that we have nearly 43,000 colleges and 1,035 universities, but out of that, only 560 universities have gone for assessment. You can say nearly 50%, but colleges only 11,620. That means nearly 13,000 total institutes they have undergone for the assessment. So we can say nearly 25 to 30% only institutes have gone. So many institutes are still, these institutes belong to all categories: central government, state government, deemed universities, private colleges, government colleges, autonomous schools, all category. It is not specific to particular one. Keeping in view and also the National Education Policy 2020, the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam has taken very determinative decision that by the end of 2022, all colleges of Assam, where nearly 2,182 colleges are there, because only 21.4% of the colleges in Assam, they have undergone for the assessment and accreditation. That means the quality in other institutes, we are not sure until unless assessment is done. So colleges have to face, the teachers have to face the salary cut if the assessment accreditation has not been done. So from that point of view also, this 5 days workshop is very important to everyone. They should join. Today also, a number of participants is very good, and that shows that they are having their interest. And even in the quality, when we talk, today we were attending the Honorable President of India's lecture on the Bir Lachit Bargohain, and what he was trying to say, that we should know our own area's contribution in the nation building and the culture, which is so rich and should be taken as a part of our education system. Somehow we are not considering these our resources, these our the historical achievements in our present system. So the NEP 2020 is giving more opportunities to include, because today morning also we had one brainstorming with some of the experts from UK in Assamese language, where we were talking that if we can develop some modules of spoken language in terms of some credit, 2 credit or like that, so that those who are not native place of the area, they can be asked. And in this way, the people coming from other countries, they can also learn the spoken language so that they can communicate nicely and can bring good business to Northeast. Since Barak Valley is so rich in resources, particularly the water resources, and so many the traditional knowledge, particularly the Sitalpatti and all these things, this skill is already there, so much skill, and so nicely it can also be converted into formulation of the 2 credit or 1 credit, whatever is, means bringing this knowledge, skill knowledge, local knowledge into the system and then incorporating in our teaching learning system or in skill development or vocational development. These are some of the areas which we are not considering so far, and this will give the uniqueness also to the institute. So those criteria which I was just telling, which we are having, and because of this very less number of higher educational institutes coming for this, yesterday only the NAAC has come out with a new proposal that provisional assessment of the higher educational institutions. So I feel those colleges which are not having confidence and which are not having much facilities or infrastructural or any other teachers or anything, they may think of going for this provisional assessment, where this yesterday only the chairman UGC has inaugurated, and they have given emphasis that instead of following all the 7 criteria, only 2 or 3 criteria, and that too without visiting the physical form of by the team, all can be done by the technology, submission of the report. And this also is having very less number of the metrics, about 25 metrics. So once we are able to pick up that how many metrics we are able to meet, this will give our strength to go further, and whatever lacunae is there to remove it before going for final listing. So those institutes who have still not sufficient, or they are still in the process of establishment 2 years, 3 years or 4 years, because here only one batch if has come out, they are eligible. Otherwise, in general, 2 or 3 batches are required, because we know that the criteria for the 7 those quality indicators which are there, these are common, like curricular aspects, teaching, learning and evaluation, research, innovation and extension, infrastructure and learning resources, student support and progression, governance, leadership and management, and institutional value and best practices. I remember earlier, best practices was there in every criteria, but now it has been taken only in last. So this is the major one change. Earlier, the peer team was having 100% assessment in its hand, and it was more descriptive. Then it came to the bullet form, that also 2 to 3 bullets for each aspect under these 7 criteria, and that also was having some kind of subjectivity. So to overcome this, the NAAC has now taken that, okay, we should try more assessment having objectivity and try where minimum possible error comes into. And that is why 3 stages of the assessment accreditation has inbuilt, that once we submit the SSR after taking all LOI, etc., then the 70% will be without involving physical, any involvement of team or like that. So 35% goes on assessment on the data which has been submitted in SSR by the computer modulated system, so that they verify whatever data we have submitted and the supporting documents to those data which have been submitted. If they need any supporting documents, then they will send that this document is required. If you are able to provide, it will be considered, otherwise not considered. Then 35% the student satisfaction. Because earlier, this was also not the part, it was only the interaction with the students group, but not having such an important aspect. So the students, that means, have to be made satisfied. And now satisfied, when we say, that means our teaching learning has to be student centric, not teacher centric, because earlier it was teacher centric. Now, whatever requirement of student is there, we have to make them satisfied. And this satisfaction means their result should be good. There should be support to their growth, study, then atmosphere at the college or university, then some monitoring of their progression, means there's different criteria. Now, if we see that earlier the distribution of marks was also same for all. Now that also yesterday has been changed. They have brought the 3 category, the urban located, rural, hilly area location. Means location has also been yesterday's criteria they have included. But so far in this RAF has not been included in the full assessment. But maybe after some time it may also become necessary, or it may also be included. So what we see that we have university system and different kind of universities. Of course, in NAP 2020, we would have only one type. It's only university world. But now we have central universities, the state university, private, deemed, then unitary, so many variations, which bring the different actually output and difficult this one. So that is why NAAC has also tried to bring separate evaluation for distance learning or the open learning institute or education or B.Ed, M.Ed and other institutes, and the general one, because for technology oriented education we have NBA separate assessment board is there. So what we find that now they have further to have the more transparency in quality assessment, they have brought 2 type of category of the assessment, what we call quantitative metrics and quality metrics. And this number of quality and quantitative metrics is different for universities, for autonomous colleges, and also for colleges, especially college also, if it is only undergraduate, different number of the metrics, and if it is PG college, it is different. So for UG college at present 93 and 96, but for this university we have nearly 115. So that means there is now variation in assessment. So some of the criteria are left or can be opted out by the institution, and the criteria option may be also the guidelines are given. Now, what we have seen, the distribution further the marks or the weightage which we call across the key indicators are also changed now. So I will not go into the details of this distribution because you are having 5 days workshop. So I am sure some technical lecture will be dealing with these details of this. But what is more important that the CGPA, that cumulative grade point of assessment, is now 8 point. So we have D means not accredited, then C accredited 1.51 and below 1.51, D not accredited, and 1.51 to 2 C, and 2.01 to 2.5 B. Then we have B plus, B plus plus up to 3. Then above 3, that is 3.01 to 3.25 A, and 3.26 to 3.50 A plus, and 3.51 to 4 A plus plus. In Northeast, we have got for the first time a college with A plus grade. That is in Dedgaon. You must have seen this news came out about, I think, 10-15 days back, that Dedgaon having only 41, I think, faculty, but continuously, this is, I think, in 3rd or 4th cycle, they got A plus plus. The first cycle, they got C grade. But you just see that they continue to improve. That is very important aspect. That don't worry what grade you get, but make it benchmark. Okay, this time we are getting this. And if you are ready to again prepare yourself to the higher one, after getting this experience, you try for B or B plus plus or A, but continuous improvement should be there. If you are coming down, that will indicate that overall there is a degradation in the system. That system, particularly as Professor Niranjan Rai said, that depends on the faculty. How faculty is having liberty, autonomy in making their syllabus, revision of syllabus, frequency of syllabus. And the syllabus means not only the knowledge-based, but also skill-based. Some of these other component of the syllabus, so that employability has increased. And therefore, you can show that your delivery and your education is creating more employment, more opportunity, whether it is entrepreneurship development or creating the your incubators or starts up. So those new areas which are coming up because of the industries which are also creating new type of jobs, new types of the way the jobs which were earlier available for unskilled or less skilled people are no more. Now we need skilled people. That is why the NEP 2020 expect that by 2030 we must have at least 50% of skill in our business. So we have to include this skill-oriented courses. This may be possible when we have infrastructural development, or else have the MOU signed, and with collaboration, we can have such kind of this one. So NEP 2020 will provide more opportunity to give option to the students that up to 40% courses can be taken by the students with other institutions. They can take online courses on the SWAM portal or other portal, or with the research institute like ICR or CSIR lab or the universities. So this opportunity at present we are not having because we have very tight type of the compartmental education. So this liberalization will help our institute, but mentally we have to prepare that this could be one of the best way to make the more liberal, continuously learning system in our institute, as well as to incorporate the general education with this more job or employability enhancement by our institute. So this way, what we find that when we are talking about the assessment and all these things, our main emphasis is that it should be the focused approach in delivery to prepare our students which are more relevant to the society's problem solution, more relevant to the corporate, more relevant to those global opportunities emerging. That means now our syllabus should also be having the needs of the globe, because by 2025, out of the 5 persons working in any corporate sector, 1 will be the Indian youth. So in this way, the relevance is very important. And as has been told, the cultural part. So that means the quality in combination with the Indian ethos. That is important. So we can also have now development of those courses related to values, related to the character building, related to our culture. And when we say culture, the Northeast is so rich, the multicultural society, multilingual society, and we can also think that how to incorporate this multi-language system into our education system. Because this each region, as in November 2021, in this Northeast Educational Convention, it was told that there will be SEZ, means the educational zone will be available, because 120 languages are there. And the first, our challenge is how to convert our this knowledge into various local languages, different languages, and also assimilate these languages so that the students, they develop confidence and become the pride, having pride of their knowledge, the traditional knowledge, and they feel proud that they are the citizen of Northeast, citizen of India. And therefore, this will bring the more innovativeness and research at the lower level of the education. That means the graduate or postgraduate level. So I feel this 5 days workshop will bring change and also motivate our educational institutions to come forward for the assessment and accreditation, as well as those who have already undergone, because SS college has already undergone with A grade, and all the GC colleges also, they are preparing. And I have personally visited NC College Badarpur just because of my own interest. And I feel that in Barak Valley, the colleges and the teachers, they have so much potential if they are simply encouraged and given little bit motivation, and whatever problems they are facing, if our educational leaders, they are able to provide support and help them, then they will perform like anything. And I feel that then the system of A++, A will start from Barak Valley, and it will take lead in showing the quality of higher education from this area. With this, I thanks the organizers to give me this opportunity and to share some of the thoughts. And I have not gone into the details of this process because I have seen the program. There are experts, including from NAAC, and Professor Niranjan Rai will also be delivering his lecture in one of the technical session. So I feel this will bring a totally new area of changing the mindset of our pupil, that they can do and perform and bring the higher educational institutes on a higher level of learning by undergoing for the assessment and accreditation. So thank you very much. Using this technology, which is again very important in the delivery and also in this, particularly after COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much and namaskar to everyone.
Namaskar, sir. Thank you very much for joining us and sharing your valuable information regarding this thing. Actually, sir, your information and informative deliberation has already paved the platform for 5-day workshop. Now it is time for presidential address by Professor Rajiv Mohan Pant, who is currently working as Vice Chancellor, Assam University, Silchar. And he is the chief patron of our 5-day national level online workshop on NAAC revised accreditation program, its relevance in the present higher education paradigm in India. Professor Pant is former professor of Northeastern Regional Institute of Science and Technology, Arunachal Pradesh, from 2005 to 2022, before joining here in Assam University as the Vice Chancellor. He was also Director on Deputation in National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, Guwahati, from the period 2014 to 2021. He was also lecturer in National Institute of Foundry and Forge Technology, Hatia, in the period 1993 to 1997. He was also lecturer in Birla Institute of Applied Science, Bhimtal, from 1991 to 1993. He is having excellent academic achievement, possessing many academic writings published in national and international papers. Associated with professional teaching since 1986 and has taught courses related to HRM, marketing management, and economics, etc. Now, besides teaching, Professor Pant is actively associated with research activities and has completed many sponsored research funded by agencies like MacArthur Foundation, USA, Ministry of HRD, India, Indian Council for Social Science Research, and All India Council for Technical Education. Professor Pant has visited many institutions, both Indian and abroad, to deliver invited lectures. He also offers consultancy on behavioral aspects to various organizations. So without delaying time, I have the pleasure to invite Professor Rajiv Mohan Pant for the presidential address. Sir, platform is yours.
Good evening and
Good evening, sir.
Esteemed organizers, esteemed participants, Honorable Professor G.D. Sarmaji, the chief guest of today's inaugural session, Professor Niranjan Roy, the guest of honor, Sri Amlendu Bhattacharji Sir, Principal SS College, Hailakandi, Sri Devadatta Chakraborty, Coordinator IQAC SS College, and dear participants, a very good evening to you all. In fact, I apologize for joining a little late, as I've come to Guwahati and we had President of India, and I was there in that program. It was wonderful listening to his thoughts. And well, this 5 days workshop on this NAAC revised accreditation framework, RAF. This 5 days workshop on this NAAC is a very good initiative taken by SS College, Hailakandi. We all know that education is the real, empowering factor. In fact, there is a saying that if you're planning for 1 year, plant rice. If you're planning for 10 years, plant trees. And if you're planning for 100 years, then educate. Education is not just giving information, but it has very transformative effect in the minds of people. It can really transform the societies. So it is very, very important. And especially now, when the world is changing at a very fast pace, now we are competing in global environment. We live in the world of globalization. So things are changing at a very fast pace, and we also need to keep pace with changing times. Education, the domain is changing very fast, and if we don't change with the changing times, we become obsolete. And education has to, be be made very, very dynamic. We saw the emergence of several institutions in last few years as we subscribe to this globalization concept. A lot of institutions came up in higher education sector. I would say many education institutions mushroomed. So we basically made a significant progress as far as quantity is concerned, but somewhere quality took a backseat. We were not really much concerned about quality. We were in a rat race of starting new, institutions, and quality, in fact, took a backseat. If we, see the status of Indian students going abroad, and we compare that with foreign students coming to India, we get to know this huge difference. Why not too many people are coming to India, right? India, which is one of the oldest civilizations in the world. India, which boasts of having hosted universities like Nalanda, Vikramshila, and like that. A lot of people used to come to India to educate themselves. What has happened that now nobody was interested in coming to India? It's because we did not care much for quality. Now we have a very good opportunity. This national education policy now is moving towards a new era of education, which has the potential to revive our status of Vishwaguru, which we enjoyed in the past for quite some time. Now we are going for an education which really transforms the characters. Now we are going for an education which is value-based. Now we are going for an education which can help us in living our livelihood, which will also give us life skills. Now it's a very holistic education that now we are targeting under this national education policy. And this holistic education will come only when we are really concerned about the quality. So these accreditation, NAAC accreditation is very, very important, because it's not just the quantity of institutions, number of the institutions, but it's the quality that matters. So it's very good that now that consciousness is now emerging. As Professor Sharma mentioned, that there is a college in Upper Assam which has earned this A+ rating. Now we know that one of us has got this kind of grading, so other institutions will also feel motivated, and we have a lot of potentials here. Only thing is, now we have to be a little more motivated. We have to make some conscious efforts. Experts have already deliberated. Experts in next 5 days will also give you a lot of inputs. What are the areas which need special focus? And I'm sure we all will gear up for acquiring better grades in NAAC. This is the need of the hour. We need to, there was one research study which suggests that, especially in technical education, every after here, we have that potentials. The only thing is we have to identify what are the areas which fall in which can be our USP, unique selling proposition. What are the areas? Now I can see that happening. I can see that happening. Now more and more institutions are, getting this good rating, and the day is not very far when at global level also we will, many of our universities, many of our institutions will figure in top 100, list of global. But this NAAC is a starting point. NAAC is a starting point. That's not the end. Now we have to figure at the global level. I wish this 5 days workshop a great success. I'm sure we'll have a lot of expert discussions. Please discuss, get your doubts cleared, interact with the resource persons, get your doubts cleared if any, and get the best out of this 5 days workshop, so that once we get back to our institutions, we are very clear and we start working for improving the quality. My best wishes and congratulations to SS College Hailakandi. Congratulations to the principal and the coordinator and the team SS College for conducting this 5 days workshop. My best wishes, and I'm sure these 5 days are going to be a great learning experience for all of us. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be associated with this 5 days workshop, and I look forward to more such programs. And as Professor Sarma said, that Barak Valley has got tremendous potentials, and I'm experiencing it. In last few days, I visited a couple of colleges, and I was quite impressed with the quality of education that they are giving. So best wishes, and thank you very much. Once again, namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your inspirational speech. And thank you once again for accepting our proposal for collaboration in this 5-day workshop. Dr. Nandi? Dr. Nandi, are you here?
Please unmute yourself, Dr. Nandi.
Thank you. So now it is the part of my duty to offer vote of thanks in this inaugural, the last part of this inaugural sessions. So first of all, I offer my sincere thanks and gratitude to Professor